Good morning, Rick. Happy Sunday.
Good morning, Mark. How are you? Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show.
Yeah, I identified Sunday because I'm going to be putting out LGBT Senior Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we record on Sunday, and everybody can enjoy this fabulous podcast on Monday. By the way, I just realized I'm drinking from New Orleans. Can you see it?
Oh my gosh, so you must be mindful of that because we interviewed a New Orleans person on our show yesterday, and
It just happened. It's serendipitous, you know. It's like
I
the
know
universe. The universe is always doing these little
it just
things if we pay
happened. I
attention.
I'm drinking from a double D cup.
Dunkin' Donuts, they're my favorite, actually. Other than K cups, I like Dunkin'.
I like them. I'm not drinking coffee though. I'm back on the tea kick. Anyway, big Sunday it is. Lots of stuff going on in the world news.
We're going to start with Eric Garner, who was the man, the unarmed man. I don't want to get into this stuff, but I noticed the media is keeps calling him an unarmed black man, and I think doesn't he deserve to be called a man? Why does he have to? It's not each case is different, and he was a large man who was choked to death in Staten Island. And I wish that some of these media outlets would refer to him as a man or an unarmed man, and not constantly calling him an unarmed black man. But anyways, he was choked to death. Everybody should know that who has a television. And there's been protests all over because it sort of dovetailed with the Ferguson case and a bunch of others. And uh, I don't know. I'm staying out of it. I posted some comments the other day on my Facebook page, and then I'm leaving it alone because it's caused. On the one hand, I think it's good. It's got a lot of people protesting. It's got a lot of people saying we have to do something about this. But it's also caused a tremendous amount of division, and people have unfriended each other on Facebook and called each other racists. And I thought, I'm just going to step back from this, but it's huge news. You can't ignore it. I don't think we can do a podcast and then not mention what's on the news every single day. What are your thoughts?
No, that's definitely it. I'm just kind of looking something up because it happened to my friend Mary Tilma, who I was out with at an election party last night, and it kind of caused her friends to blow up. But she wanted to put it out there that it was like 6:30 in the morning on Friday morning that she posted her feelings about this is a race issue in her opinion, and we need to be kinder, gentler, loving people. And one of the people she used to go to school with is a police officer I knew, and he cited example, numbers and quotes, just like Fox News is saying, well, 100 officers were killed in 2012, and we need to protect ourselves. And it goes on and on. My feeling is this: that it doesn't. We talked about this on our last show. It doesn't matter the case that has initiated all this response, but reining in when people feel threatened for no matter what, something happens. And in this case, there's a civil rights leader that wrote a big study on this, and I'm just lacking her name right now. And she was recently interviewed on NPR, so you can go to NPR and read her interview. She basically said it's not about black or white because God only knows there's a lot of police officers marriages or mixed race children. It's an issue of fear. And when you have she interviewed over 180 cops recently, and when you have a 6'3" person coming at you or feel threatened in any way, your instinct kicks in and you react. That's one thing. It doesn't make it right or wrong. We need to desensitize. We don't need to treat people to be militarists, which is what we're doing. Instead, we need to train cops in desensitization and how to handle that and how to work through their fears. It's a very powerful psychological approach to it versus what it is. One other comment I have to make about it, Mark, is they're doing a lot of die-ins in cities, proving their points. A lot of unique things going on right in your own backyard, just steps away from you. But one of the things I read on this post that Mary had was a guy quoted, "Remember ACT UP, Mark? It
Oh
was all the queers
yes,
were
yeah.
dying until finally ACT UP got together and organized itself and said, you're not going to kill the queers." And that's exactly what this is about. I think it has to be, it's good all this is happening, but we need organization to confront it. We need a new ACT UP. That's my opinion.
Yes, we do, and I agree with her and you. I think this is that you're in agreement with her. It is a race issue, but I'm just talking as a linguistics person and how media
Mm-hmm.
outlets like now the phrase is police involved shooting. And I was reading
Right,
I
right,
was reading
right.
I was reading a really good examination of that. Why do they say that? But they automatically do, whether it's Channel 4 or the New York Times. That's the phrase they have to use now. Why don't you just say police shooting? Why is it police involved shooting? It makes you step away from
Mm-hmm.
what happened. And my issue is not that it's not a race issue, but that it's like unarmed black man. That's it's like they get this little talking point, and that's how they have to refer to
That's right.
every single you know African American who's killed by a cop is an unarmed black man, and I'm it's more a language thing for me. It just bugs me. And with Garner though, he did not come at the cops. The video is clear. He just said, "Leave me alone." They were harassing him, and they had been harassing him in the past for selling loose cigarettes. So
Hmm.
he was like, "Leave me alone." I mean, talk about the emotion of the moment. I would probably say just like, "Leave me alone," and then they took him down.
Well,
So
yeah, and then I mean, in that case in particular, those that same cop was involved in two other takedowns and strip downs of some black men. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah. Anyway, taking it on a lighter note, a lot of gay like dating and things going out there. Just Andy Cohen came out with a new book. I know your new book came out. Well, Andy Cohen's new book is what's it called? I don't even know. Something about Andy Cohen behind the scenes, and he was interviewed recently by that Lisa Vanderpump, who's a housewife of Beverly Hills, on his show. You know what would happen live, and she asked him if he ever slept with women, and I love his quote. He's like, I have slept with women, but I've never been full Monty with them." And he calls himself a gold star gay. You've heard that phrase, I'm sure, before too, where you're a guy that's never been with a twat or a vagina or a pair of double D being shot.
now I have to mark this explicit
I know. You
on the
know where I
pod.
go with this.
But
Anyway,
I'm a gold star gay.
oh well, there. Where's your gold star?
I don't know, Rick.
You
It's
don't
but
have to wear it. But it was interesting. She kind of pushed him to the point. But the other celebrity dating one I want to talk about is Patty Stanger. You know who that is, right?
no.
Millionaire matchmaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
she airs on Bravo as well, and she really wants Andy on as a guest. She goes, but that'd be kind of weird to try to match make my boss with someone. Although she's long intimated that she wanted him to be with the other silver-haired dude out there. What's his name? The
Cooper,
newscaster
Anderson
from
Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. Yeah. Well, anyway, she's got her new show launches December 7th, and one of the people you've got to watch it is Perez Hilton. First thing she does with Perez, just what do you call this? I'm giving you a little leak here, folks. So if you don't want to hear it, cover your ears. But she makes him take the Grinder application off of his phone.
Oh, good. He's, by the way, lost a lot of weight. He's in really good shape now.
Really?
Perez Hilton. Oh my God. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight. Yeah,
Well, she
I
basically
clearly
could.
you don't follow him, or you would know that.
No, I'm not a big follower of him, but her whole point was, I love the gay community because you're resilient. If something doesn't work out when you date, you get back up and you rebound. You're open for other opportunities, whereas straight people kind of isolate and they get upset and blah blah blah. She said, but what I don't like is that you often go into it from a sexual situation before a true dating situation. So she's going to set his ass straight. That's on the new on Matchmake Millionaire. Also, did you see Sam Smith officially came out on? Well, he said, you know who that is? The singer, the
The
22
singer,
year
he's
old.
great. He came out a long time ago.
He came out a long time ago, but he officially said, I want to officially come out because his new album called In the Lonely Hour is coming out. And he was on Ellen DeGeneres. He said, well, actually, I came out when I was 4 years old, although my mom knew I was gay when I was 3 years old. He won 2 AMA awards, New Artist of the Year, Best Male Artist. Big career ahead of that man, don't you think?
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, I love his music.
So we'll see who ends up in a relationship with. Go ahead, Marky.
We're moving on to the elections
Oh,
from
God.
celebrity grinder people
Dating.
to I'm so out of
The
the dating
twat.
thing. I don't have any idea.
I
And
have no idea how it works.
just the elections. I understand that you folks elected your first murderer mayor in Shreveport. Congratulations on that.
Yep, happened 43 years ago. You can check it out, guys. If you look at Ollie Tyler, our new mayor, suspicion that she poisoned his second husband. Can I even
Oh
say that here?
no.
Mark.
The first I didn't read that. I know that she was abused and she shot the guy a
And there's no
long time
statute of
ago.
limitations, so they could go after her. But at the same time, I doubt that's going to happen. But no, there is a second story circulating, but I can't confirm it nor deny it.
And also Landrieu, of course, that's the national story is that the deep south, I don't even know what the deep south means anymore, but the south, there's no Democrats in the Senate or Congress from the south anymore. Mary Landrieu was crushed.
It was bad, crushed by a googly-eyed guy. Yeah, so if you look at the count in the Senate, the Democrats are, there's 54 Republican now as of last night, which is up by 9. And if you look at what happened also in the South, Mark, in Louisiana, we lost 2 congressional seats. The one that Bill Cassidy, who beat her, that he vacated and went Republican. And then we had Edwin Edwards, former governor at 87 years old, in a runoff, thinking he would claim it for a Democrat and get back into politics, but that was won by a Republican. So your count is 246 Republican versus 188 Democrat, which is the largest Republican faction since post-war II Truman administration. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll just see over the next few years what that means for the country. I'm not a doom and gloom guy. It's like, you know, of course, I'm also 56. I don't have time to be wasting on getting upset about the country that I'm living in. It's messed up, but whatever. We'll just see where it goes.
Admittedly, though, Mark, it's sad. She'd been her fourth term. Her dad was a governor. Her dad was the secretary of.
And we all know they should be in office until they're 80 or 85.
Well, she's only 59 or 57 years old or something.
But I'm just saying, she's been there for 18 years. How sad is it that she's got to change jobs? I mean, how many people have the same job for 18 years? Good for her.
I get that, Mark, but at the same time, it just makes me sad that she was such a leader and pillar, not only in the South, but of the Democratic Party. And, they kind of pulled out of her advertising campaign for the runoff.
Yeah, they abandoned her. It was terrible. The Dems abandoned her because they knew she was going to lose.
Well, it's sad, and it's kind of sweeping. Now, there is some discussion, just a quick note on that. We have the Jindal election coming up, right? Our Republican governor. There's some discussion that she may run for governor, which would be really, that was great. The talk and buzz around Shreveport at the election parties last night. Also, did you know, this is interesting to me, when, we just had the election of the Republican governor over in Texas, Greg Abbott. Do you know a lot about that Abbott that beat that Wendy?
I don't know anything about him. I hate Texas. I'm never going there, and I don't care what happens to them.
Well, I find it fascinating, these things you hear about people. I was just upset that he beat my gal Wendy over there. But then I read a little deeper. They're redoing, when Rick Perry leaves, they have to redo the governor's mansion for a wheelchair-bound guy. Greg Abbott's been in a wheelchair since 1984. Apparently, he was out running and a tree fell on him. So his whole campaign, he says, you talk about a man with a steel spine. I am a man with a steel spine. And then his competitor, Wendy, went after him because apparently after getting his award as I think he was attorney general for the state, he kind of wanted limits on what you can sue for. And she said, yeah, he got what he wanted, but all you other wheelchair-bound people. And his whole ad campaign for her was this wheelchair, and it's kind of creepy. Yeah. But should he go to the White House, he'd be the only other president since who was in a wheelchair?
Roosevelt.
There you go.
Roosevelt.
Yeah, interesting. That's Greg Abbott's story.
Great. And now I just have two important stories to me. They're about kids. I think that's what we had up next.
Yeah, it's a horrible story.
And, we've heard over the years so much about teens and preteens killing themselves for being bullied. And Dan Savage's It Gets Better project was all about that. I was one of the early movie people on there, by the way, the early clips, if you go way, way back. Anyways, but this just really upset me. It's this 12-year-old named, I don't want to trip over my tongue here, but anyways, his name was Ronan Shimizu, former sixth grader enrolled at Folsom Middle School, somewhere in California. But I read this morning that he had been homeschooled because he was treated so badly at school, and he just wanted to be a cheerleader. And he ended up killing himself because of the way his peers treated him. And this one really touched me because when I was a little kid, my parents, for all the things they didn't do right, they allowed me to play with my sister's Barbie dolls, which I did. When my sister got the dream house, I had to have the dream house. And I was able to, my mother at least allowed me to do that. And then I got a little bit more aware of myself and discovered that G.I. Joe was much, much, much hotter. So I moved into G.I. Joe. But it's just horrible to me. He just wanted to be a cheerleader, and what a fabulous thing to want to be. And it makes me, this morning I thought about it, and I thought, I'm going to put on my fucking poodle skirt and my pink Barbie sweater, and I'm going out there and saying, pick on me, you son of a bitch, because I'm not hanging myself. And that's one of the reasons I think I survived. Even as a teenager, I was like, I'm not killing myself for these motherfuckers. Now I definitely have to put explicit on this podcast because I'm really, really upset about it. But so many kids don't have that determination to survive. And this little boy is gone, and it breaks my heart. And on the other side of that coin, there were a set of parents in Australia Um, anyways, I'll make it really short. They have a 19-year-old transgender son, and when he was born 19 years ago, the birth announcement was for their little girl, and then the parents redid the birth announcement to let everybody know, oops, we were wrong. We had a beautiful son, and that's like, wow, that's the world I imagine us someday living in, where you just love your child and you love your neighbor and you love the other people on this planet, and just stop it with, they got to be the way that I imagine them they need to be, or I'm going to trash them and I'm going to crap on them and I'm going to treat them like shit until they kill themselves. There's two polar opposites in those stories, and that's what I wanted to share.
No, I think it's very moving, Mark, and yeah, it is things like that. Realize we're not as far as we think we are, and my last thing is just to comment on that. I was gonna talk about transgender around the world, and we'll save that for our next podcast. But we'll talk about Eric Radford coming out. And it may have been sparked by that. I haven't gotten deeper. I'm sure he heard the same cheerleader story as us. Eric Radford, of course, was a silver medalist in the Sochi Olympics. He's coming back in 2018 on his route to win a gold. Um, he grew up gay, and talks in his story that I was reading last night was that he was the lisping, because he happened to have a lisp, wannabe figure skater. And he used to hear people all the time say, oh, of course you want to be a figure skater. That's what lisping little faggots do. You know what I mean? Well, he went on to be where he's at. And, people don't realize in the figure skating world, I didn't realize that Rudy Galindo, or whatever his name was, he had, what was it, Giuliano?
Rudy Galindo. Rudy
Yeah, Rudy.
Galindo.
He knew he was on his way to retirement when he came out, as if we couldn't tell. Now, see there, I'm being like, see, I'm doing the same thing people say about figure skaters. But I love this Eric Radford story because he's never hit it. And he could have came out. He went to HRC, I think, or GLAAD, and said, should I come out before the Sochi Olympics? And they said, no, you should. But he said, I'd just be the poster child. Everyone would be talking about the epitome of the gay athlete going into the anti-gay Olympics. So he decided to keep it until recently. But if you look back, he hasn't hit it. On his Facebook, there's images with him and his partner Normand. They did the Ice Bucket Blitz together. Actually, when he went to Sochi, one of the TV personalities asked him, he said, who's here supporting you? Or one of the newspapers asked him, and he said, good friends, good family, and my partner. Well, they chose not to run the partner part. And he said his inspiration was Paul Wirtz, who was his coach until 2006 when he died. And he was an out gay ice skating, teacher. So you have to look. We were talking last night about the story you had, and I'm just going to leave it out there for anyone listening. Those of us, like you, Mark, and myself, and many that told their story through Dan Savage's project, we had that glimmer of hope. It was your parents, it was a friend, it was a teacher. If you can be that for any kid out there that's going through what this young man was going through, to give them some hope, I encourage you to do it.
Excellent. And you know what? We're at 1750, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going over this time. I just want to say I got my Fitbit on, going for a nice long walk today. And I think that's it. Look at the website, LGBT Senior, and for the podcast.
Check it out. Check out your new book. Let's promote a little bit, Mark. It's your fourth in the series, right?
It is, but I don't want to keep going on. It's Death by Pride, a Kyle Callahan Mysteries.
What? It's awesome. It's on Amazon.com. Got a great review yesterday, I saw. It's a good book.
Excellent
I downloaded
book.
it. I'm ready to read it today.
And also the collection, Outer Voices, Inner Lives, 16 queer writers over 50. That's out there. So it's all fabulous. It's all good, and we're gonna keep this thing under 20.
Yeah, happy holiday shopping, everybody. Mark, are you sending that big old package to me? I saw it on Facebook. I know you're sending.
You're gonna have
to
to
me,
look for it, and
okay.
also look for the giveaway at
So
LGBT Senior for email subscribers, Kindle Fire for Christmas. But you got to subscribe to the website. Okay, Rick, we're out of here. Bye.
Peace. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.